Okay, in this video, we're looking at question 21 here on the Unit 1, Lesson 18 classwork. This is the word problem from this lesson. It says, Stefan has a set of plans to build a wooden box. He wants to reduce the volume of the box to 105 cubic inches. He would like to reduce the length of each dimension in the plan by the same amount. The plan calls for the box to be 10 inches by 8 inches by 6 inches. Write and solve a polynomial equation to find out how much Stefan should take from each dimension. So the first thing that you want to think about when we are doing this is that Stefan wants to create a box. So I'm going to sort of sketch a box over here. And you should be able to tell that if he's making a box, and let me look back over here, we're looking at the volume of the box, that the volume of a box is going to be the length times the width times the height. And we're told that ideally these dimensions are going to be 10 by 8 by 6. But Stefan wants to reduce each of those by the same amount. And when he ends up reducing it by that amount, his final volume is going to be 105 cubic inches. So if you're going to reduce each of these dimensions by the same amount, reducing is subtracting, and you don't know that amount right now, so you're going to say 10 minus x times 8 minus x times 6 minus x. And that expression needs to equal 105. So in order to figure out making our polynomial equation, what we're going to need to do is take any two of these. I'm just going to start with the first two and FOIL them. And when you FOIL that, you're going to get 8 times 10 is 80. 10 times negative x and negative x times 8. When you add those together, you have negative 10x and negative 8x makes negative 18x. And then negative x times negative x gives you positive x squared. And we're going to take that expression and multiply it by the 6 minus x. So this is just going to be a bunch of distributing. So we're going to distribute the 6 to each term over here. 6 times 80 is 480. 6 times negative 18x is negative 108x. 6 times x squared is 6x squared. Then we're going to distribute the negative x to each term. Negative x to 80 is negative 80x. And notice how I'm lining up my terms by the same powers of x. Negative x times negative 18x is positive 18x squared. And negative x times x squared is negative x cubed. All that equals 105. But I need to get this so that it equals 0, so I'm going to bring the 105 over to the left side. So 480 minus 105 is 375. Negative 108 and negative 80 is negative 188x. 6 and 18 is 24x squared. And then we have minus x cubed equals 0. So now you should see that we have a cubic polynomial. And the best strategy for solving a cubic is to try different numbers in the synthetic division. And I've already done this, so I'm just going to go straight to the answer. But again, if you didn't pick up on this in class, a good strategy is to start with 1 in their synthetic division, and if that doesn't work, go to negative 1, and then try 2, and if that doesn't work, go to negative 2, etc., and keep going. So the number that ends up working for this problem is the number 3. And so when I've listed out my coefficients here, notice how this problem up here is not in the correct order. All the terms are reversed. So I need to get the third power term first, which is negative 1, and then the 24, and then negative 188, and then 375, bring down my -1, multiply by 3, that gives me -3. Add them up, you get 21 times 3, you get 63. Add those up, you get -125 times 3 is -375. And obviously 375 cancels out with -375. Once you get your remainder 0, you know that the number in the box was your solution, which means that Stefan needs to reduce each of these dimensions by 3 inches. So looking back at the problem real quick, write and solve a polynomial equation. We did that. We've solved it. We found that x is 3. So we know that Stefan needs to take 3 inches away from each dimension. So going back over here, when you have a word problem, you need to finish off your answer with a sentence. So Stefan should reduce each side of the box by 3 inches. And that's the answer to number 21 on the Unit 1, Lesson 18 classwork.